Honest review of Wuthering Waves after 24 hours.
Hey, what up, boys? Let you.
So, let me go ahead and say my review for the first 24 hours at least. It was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I'm still enjoying it, but of course it is a new game, so the endorphins are still running. I'm still in the honeymoon phase. I'm having a great time. The biggest issues is voice acting is really bad. Like I don't. At first, I thought it was just like the actual lines, but then over time, and again, I'm like level 22, I think. So I've played a good bit. It's also the voice actors. They're really bad. um, I haven't had any ping issues. There's been a couple points to where the camera angles have just annoyed the living shit out of me. Uh, Co-op, which again I didn't play in the first 24 hours, but now I know that the co-op is really bad because you can only play with two other people and you can each only be one character. I would rather every time like someone joins your game, each of you still gets, your normal three characters, but just double everything's health. Double everything. I don't care. But only having access to one character if you play with two other people is the most annoying thing ever because I want to enjoy myself and have fun with the people that I play with, but it's hard whenever each of us can only choose one person. So that's really annoying. Uh, Everything else, I mean, I really don't have an issue with so far. But yeah, that's my honest review, especially after the first 24 hours. Again, the review of uh, the co-op is kind of after, obviously, but still.
You guys know I've been live for 24 hours on Twitch so far, and I don't see any reason to stop so far. It's been a crazy day of Wuthering Waves, and I want to give you guys my full thoughts and why my full thoughts are the way they are, and also address some of the community issues for day one of Wuthering Waves, a complete 24 hours since launch. So first of all, let me tell you guys, while we get into it, I'm going to break everything down from 1 to 10 and hopefully explain why. Going to do some lows, going to do some highs, strap in, buckle up, but most importantly, I want to hear your experience with Wuthering Waves. I'm seeing a lot of negativity with the game right now as far as optimization goes, and let me address this. The same optimization issues that we are getting for Wuthering Waves, the exact same issues happen with Genshin Impact. Now, I understand that there are some people who are legit just are not able to play. That is very unfortunate. But for people complaining about face melting and NPC mobs glitching and, some quests not working, all those things happen in Genshin Impact. You say it's fine when it happens.
Which is crazy to me because, again, I haven't had any of those issues, which is really awesome for me. Sorry, I was moving myself. Which is really awesome for me. But yeah, that sucks that everyone else, or not everyone else, but a good chunk of people were having so many issues. You have an old Super 2060. I have a 1080 Ti. So like, my system isn't cooking or anything. Now, I do have really good internet, but at the same time, I'm playing the game while streaming, while playing like music in the background on YouTube. While I have my phone playing my stream right in front of me live, while I have other stuff connected. So like it's weird that so many people are having issues, but yeah,
Happens in Genshin. You say it's a problem when it happens in Wuthering Waves. Just shut the fuck up. There's this ridiculous thing where if Wuthering Waves isn't like Genshin and better times 1,000, that you guys, when Wuthering Waves is the same as Genshin, you say that Genshin is better, which makes no fucking sense. So I'm gonna keep a spade a spade. I'm going to keep a buck, and what I'm going to do just to make things even more fun for the community, I'm going to tell you for what aspect of Wuthering Waves is better than Genshin, and I'm going to tell you what aspect for Wuthering Waves is worse than Genshin, to keep it very, very, very fair. I obviously want...
So here's the thing. whenever it comes to a lot of these streamers' takes, which again I've really mainly only heard M-Tashes and Tectones, but I don't believe any of them. And here's why. And again, this all roots back to TOF. They gave up on TOF after a day. They never went back. TOF turned into an amazing game apart from server issues, which I get, that's really annoying. But they're trying to say, "Oh, well, give it some time," And obviously it's only been like 4 days since the launch. And Tower Fantasy did have a really shitty launch, and it took about like a month for it to actually start releasing a lot, longer and better content. But, them trying to say, "Oh, well, it's no big deal because they're hot fixing it." Yeah, so did TOF. Like you're telling people to stick with it, but then you'll play a game like TOF, and then play it after a day, and then be like, okay, this game is absolute dog shit because the launch was bad. Well, now people are saying, oh, well, the launch is bad for Wuthering Waves, so now they're changing their perspective on it. So that's my thing, where it's like, I don't know. I don't fully trust your opinion.
To make this as a standalone video for Wuthering Waves, but there's a lot of people comparing Wuthering Waves and Genshin Impact still, which I think is totally valid and totally warranted. And I want to keep it honest with you guys to know if you should make the swap from Genshin Impact or just keep on going it with Paimon. So firstly, I want to start off with the story. Okay, the story is most likely the weakest part of Wuthering Waves right now. I want to let you guys know, so far all I've done is Ying Lang's story quest, and I've also done up to the Scar part in the story quest. I would give the story pre-Scar a 4 of 10. I would give the part of the story that is Scar 8 of 10. Scar brings a beautiful life into the story that I really think people are overlooking, and I think when you don't skip that story and when you don't go immediately to the fight, you get some very fun narrative, some very fun storytelling aspects that I think a lot of people are missing out on. I've been told the story picks up a lot in part 5 and part 6, which is about maybe an hour and a half into the game, which I think is very fair to do. So I'm going to do that, give you guys my honest review, and I'm going to update this shit as soon as I possibly can. I think the story pre-Scar is worse than Genshin's Mondstadt. I think the story post-Scar, I think for Scar, I think it keeps up for around Inazuma quality. Okay, but still, I will say, as a side note, Honkai Star Rail blows all of their story out of the water. It blows their story out of the fucking water. It's not even close. Okay, combat. I give combat a swift 10 of 10. It is the best combat I've ever played in any gacha game. And it's honestly some of the funnest combat I've played in even outside of a gacha game. I pulled Calcharo. Yeah, I know. It's what it is. Free to play, by the way. 100% free to play, by the way. There's no...
He's 100% free to play. Interesting. How did he already get 3 5-stars?
Gem God's this game. Gem God is bannable. But the combat is very smooth. The dodging feels very nice. And it makes me feel good.
No,
it makes me excited
the Doctor is
to
a
do.
4-star.
And the dodges are just amazing.
Maybe the Ice
The
Girl
parries
is a
are very
4-star
good.
too.
And I want to see if I can show you guys the ult too. If I can build this shit up real quick. Hold on, let me see. Can I build it up on this last guy or no?
So, as far as the combat goes, so far, I like it. But TOF had the same mechanics whenever it comes to dodging at the right moments. But what TOF really did wrong later down the road was power creep, to where you don't have to dodge anymore, right? So right now the combat is fine while everyone is super weak, but the fighting was clunky. Are you talking about TOF or this game? TOF? Yeah, the reason why it was so clunky was, again, like the server issues. But if we didn't have any of the server issues, I don't think it would be clunky at all. Like, I think the bosses all function the way that they needed to, right? It was just solely like all of like the weird delays in attacks and damage calculations. It was really odd. And they still have those issues today. Like, it's still insanely bad. Like, it's horrible. If you have more than like 4 people, bosses just don't work, and it sucks. But I mean, so far this game, you know, we got to fight multiple bosses today with 3 people, and the boss functioned exactly the way that it was supposed to. You know, maybe the targeting for the boss, I feel like it strictly targets one person. But I mean, I didn't see any major issues with it.
Yes, I can. It's good. It's good. It's really, 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 really fucking good. The combat has lived up to and surpassed all of my expectations for what it was. I will say, side note, I'm not enjoying the combat just because I got Calcharo. If you have a Dan Jin, I highly recommend you use her. I think she is the...
And that's my point, is that the combat is fun while we all have shitty characters. But once you get these 5-star characters and you start leveling them up, I don't know. I don't have any 5-star characters. I'm still using the 3 starter characters. So it's still a ton of fun for me, because if I don't dodge perfectly every time, or at least 80 to 90% of the time, I just lose. So right now it's a ton of fun for me. But once I start getting these stronger characters, I don't know. I feel like the dodging might just not be necessary anymore. But who knows? I don't know. I don't know. We're only 4 days in.
Funnest character in the game for me to use, but Calcharo is just my fucking...
Because we didn't start getting overpowered in TOF until... Oh, man. It was like... It was after Ruby. It was definitely after Ruby. It was after Saki. Because even Saki didn't make the game too terribly easy. You know what? I think we started getting overpowered whenever Rubelia came out. That's whenever everyone was just getting too powerful. And it wasn't making the bosses very fun. Like, that's whenever I think I was able to just solo any boss and I no longer needed a team. I think that was it. So that was like 2 or 3 months in, minimum. So we'll see.
Good boy. So I love using him. Combat parry system feels amazing. The dodging feels amazing. Everything feels very balanced, feels very fair. I feel very strong using Calcharo, even though I'm using a level 1 weapon. And same thing for Dan Jin. I felt very, very, very strong, even though I didn't build her whatsoever. I think it's in a very, very, very good spot. This combat, this gameplay, and this combat is the best combat and gameplay you will get from a gacha game, period. This is the best gameplay in any gacha in 2024. Okay? And I stand by that. Okay? Now I want to talk about the world. Okay? A lot of people were saying that the world's going to look depressing. The world is going to look bad. It's going to look very, very, very ugly.
I think the world looks great. Everything is very, like, cluttered, but in a good way. And I haven't really encountered too many issues apart from maybe just mountains being super high and you have to run all the way around, but that's about it, which isn't that big of a deal. So
I cannot tell you how wrong those people are. The world feels different because depending on where you go, you're going to get a completely different world feel. And it's also very easy on the eyes to where I was able to grind this for 24 hours and not get a headache whatsoever. It feels very post-apocalyptic. The graphics quality are very nice. Even the mob quality is very nice. There's a lot different units in the game that make the world feel a lot more alive. For Genshin Impact, it was pretty much just like Hilichurl in the snow, Hilichurl in the dirt, Hilichurl in the grass, Hilichurl in the pond. But for this place, depending on where you go, there's going to be different mobs. As of time of recording, there's over 238 different enemies for you to fight, excluding bosses. And it's just really, really, really exciting.
Yeah.
The world looks great. The main city looks great. I don't really want to spoil how good the world looks for you guys because it does look that good, but depending where you are, it's gonna look like you're in a completely different fucking area. And all of this, I want you to keep in mind, is pretty much the same size as Mondstadt, but it feels like you have 5 regions built into one. The game is fucking beautiful, and people who are shitting on this are just straight up fucking wrong. I give the world a solid 9 out of 10. Only because I wish there was more environmental effects. I wish there was like storming and raining, and if there are,
Yeah.
I'll take it back. But I was hoping like random lightning strikes would happen, and that would be cool. But
Wait, no, there is random lightning strikes. I remember that. It happened like once to me.
I haven't seen that yet. The music is fantastic. It does feel great wherever you go. Every single area does have its own identity, and the overall music theme for the world is very nice. There is a issue with Genshin Impact that has existed since launch until today, where nice music plays and then randomly it just stops. It just stopped. Oh, there are lightning and rain. Okay, I haven't seen it yet. This is a work in progress, guys. This is only 24 hours of playing. It's a work in progress. In Genshin Impact, when you would play, this very nice song would play, and then it would stop, and it would be uncomfortable silence. That doesn't happen in Wuthering Waves. All of the music feels very good. I love the background music for almost every single area. The boss fight themes are amazing, as well as the character themes. They did a very good job for this. However, I still want to see them push the boundaries of what I think they can do, due to the fact that I think Honkai Star Rail still has the best music for the game so far. However, I still think Wuthering Waves' music is better than Genshin's, not as good as Honkai Star Rail's. I give it a solid 8 out of 10. Let's talk about a very serious issue, and I'm trying to get through all this because I don't want to waste your guys' time. By the way, if you're still here and you're playing Wuthering Waves, I would love for you to give me a like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Leave me your thoughts, and then also follow me on Twitch. That would be great. Okay? I want to talk about the second very serious issue. First issue, the story pre-Scar. I'm going to update this once I clear the next chapters. The next really big issue in this game is the voice acting. I'm not going to say it's an issue with the voice actors, but I will say for the voice direction.
It's the voice actors too.
I think it's pretty piss poor. Now, obviously, there are some outliers. I think Gian, Scar, and Calcharo are doing a very good job with their voice.
Okay, Scar, I think, is doing perfectly fine. A couple of them maybe, but it's there's outliers in the sense of the ones that are actually good, but the majority are really bad.
Voices, it makes a lot of sense, but there are certain characters that just put me to fucking tears. Also, shout out to Sanghua. Sanghua's voice is also absolutely beautiful. And a full disclosure, I'm playing in English. I'm not playing in Japanese. Perhaps these issues don't exist in other languages. However, I speak English, so I'm going to play in English. I might swap to JP later once I finish the story. Okay?
That's news to me.
EN is pretty piss poor. I really don't enjoy the way that Yang Yang talks. It's very frustrating. And yeah, I would give the voice acting for the game about a 6 of 10. I will say the guys who are good really carry, and I mean this genuinely. If you have done Scar's part yet and you've done it in its entirety, you will see some of the best voice acting work that I've seen in a gacha game. He's maniacal. He's fucking super fucking hot. He's super sexy. And just a really crazy fucking character. Really, really, really fucking good. Scar's VA is knocking it out of the fucking park. Really, really, really fucking good. Next up, I want to talk about character design. I heard him out. I heard people out, and I heard the people saying that it doesn't look as good as Genshin's, but the more you play the game, the more you realize how good the fucking characters look in this game, especially the men. I think the designs of the characters are doing very, very, very well. I do say from a universal perspective.
Look at Toki. Oh my god. Okay. So I think apart from Toki, and then maybe whenever Lin Yin comes out, sorry, but I want bigger Bobas. I want Boba physics. I want these characters to be sexy as heck, you know? But right now, I feel like, well, I mean, you know, it may be a good thing, but most of the characters, heck, even Toki, she's dressed very modest, but she has very voluptuous features that make her very, very sexy.
Men look the best out of Honkai Star Rail and Genshin. However, I do think the women do look better in Genshin and Honkai. Right now, obviously there are some outliers. Yin Lin's not in the game yet, and when she does, I'll update this, because I do think Yin Lin knocks it out of the park.
Yeah.
Because Yinlin's probably my number 3 sexiest character that I've seen in gacha games. Obviously, my number 1 being Kafka, my number 2 being Yelan. But I'm obsessed with the fucking dots underneath the eyes.
That's
and
fair.
It's like she's an adult version of Sparkle, which
It's
is dope. Or let me rephrase that. A bustier version of Sparkle. I don't think Sparkle's a child by any means. Okay, I think Sparkle's sexy as fuck. Okay, but yeah, for the character designs, I give it a solid 8 out of 10. Love it so far. And I've seen the characters they have to come, like Changlei, and I really think the sky's the limit for this game so far. But for real, they have knocked it out of the park with the male design. And Gui Shen, or Gay Shen, whatever the fuck his name is, looks really, really, really fucking good. Movement. I don't really think it matters if the world is beautiful, if it sucks exploring it. But I will also say, a little bit of a spoiler, this is the best movement in any gacha I have ever played, and I would go even further to say, one of the best movement options in any open world.
No, TOF has the best movement. Unbeatable Rubelia and her movement, having vehicles like mounts. No, TOF definitely surpasses this in movement. This movement has actually pissed me off quite a few times, especially like the running wall mechanic and the climbing mechanic. It's really frustrating sometimes. But no, definitely not.
Game I've ever played. Generally, when you're traversing around, well, not Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is better, obviously. But barring Cyberpunk, the movement just feels really, really, really good. Nothing ever really feels like a chore.
It's definitely way better than Genshin, though. 100%. This Wuthering Waves movement is far superior than Genshin.
You get a grappling hook for extra movement options, and you get a double jump wherever you go, which is really nice. And you also get to run up walls. If you go up towards a ledge, like for example, I'll go climb this shit real quick. Can you not climb that? Okay. So the first thing I tried to climb was an object that wasn't climbable. That's great. All right, so let me show that. That was a crazy example. What are the odds of that? Okay, so anyways, I climb this shit, right?
You can climb anything.
Okay, all right.
He's just moving too fast. You kind of have to move a little bit slower.
So this is what happens. This is what happens when you're 24 hours sleep deprived. I would like to retract everything and give the movement a 5 of 10. Okay, anyways, barring player skill, going up shit feels really good, okay? Because generally when you were to go climb shit in any other game, you get stuck on ledges and shit. But when you're not retarded, you can actually climb shit up pretty easily, and it's very, very, very nice. Now, obviously, there are still some outliers. You can still get stuck on some things, but the vaulting system, it looks very good. It's very, very, very nice. And it's just pretty easy just to fucking get around. You know? It's very, very, very easy to get around. And I really, really, really love the vaulting. You can see right here. I think I can vault over this dog. Woo! Vault over that. It's just very simple. You know, then when you can't vault, just press the space bar. But yeah, it's good. It's good. It's very, very, very smooth. It is very, very smooth, especially for like gacha game terms. It's very, very, very smooth.
Yeah.
It's good. Oh, and apparently you can pet the dog, which is great. But yeah, the glider speed feels okay. I still wish it was physics-based to where you could go faster if you were going faster before the gliding started. But yeah, it's good. Part of the player error for the movement options.
Sure.
Okay, next up, we have the PC performance. Okay, so for my PC issues, the only thing I've experienced that's been poor so far is I've experienced some memory leak in the main city, which made me restart the game. That is the only issue I've had in 24 hours. However, I am hearing that a lot of other people are having issues with the game, and those are being addressed, and we're actually getting a 10 pull. So expect optimizations coming in soon, and don't give up on the game. If it doesn't work on your PC now, just give it a little bit, and I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, for so far, on my end, I have been doing great, but I have a 5.
Yeah, again, I haven't had any issues. I have a 1080 Ti. You know, my system isn't the greatest, and it's running everything on full power, like in terms of graphics.
$1,000 PC. I heard there's some optimization issues. I wouldn't really worry about it so much. So for my PC performance, I give it an 8 or a 9 out of 10, but other people in the world are struggling. So I would give it about a 5 out of 10, but with a little bit of patience, I'm sure it's going to be updated. They've already said they're giving a 10 pull. Things are going to be fine. It is what it is. It's a non-issue. And people are really blowing this one the fuck up because they are really pushing the anti-woo-wah agenda right now. And the amount of astroturfing happening on social media right now is actually fucking insane. Next up, exploration. So far in 24 hours, I have explored all of this. Okay? I have explored all of this. I did a good amount too, 30% here, 48% here, 10%, 54%, 11%, 8%.
There's a lot of stuff.
5%.
I really like it.
Quest and puzzles to
a ton of
solve.
stuff.
It's very, very, very good. It is
Puzzles
the best
are great.
exploration game ever made on gacha, ever made on mobile. I stand by that. It blows Genshin Impact out of the fucking water. It blows Genshin Impact out of the fucking water. And what's nice is the map overall is smaller, but in that smaller area, there's a lot less wasted space. So there's always things for you to find because they can
100%.
I don't really care for things to be wide open world with nothing to do. I like areas that are smaller and more condensed with lots of things in them, and not to mention being able to echo collect is very addicting. It's very fun. It's very rewarding. And
it is a lot of fun.
Best things they've ever added. I have not found a shiny yet, but I am hoping I will find a shiny as soon as possible. All right. Last up, I will go for puzzles. And so far, for all the puzzles, they've done a very good job. They feel
puzzles are perfectly fine. You know, some of them, you have to kind of think about it, but it's nothing like to where I'm just so annoyed that I have to do it, or that it's just obnoxious to have to do it. They're all just quick, easy. Think about it for a couple minutes, and then you're done.
Feel very rewarding. They feel very challenging. They actually feel a little bit complex. And I've yet to be like, oh God, here we go, another puzzle. They're just the right amount of difficulty. They're very enjoyable. Yeah. However, I really do think they can push the boundaries on the puzzles they have in this game. Yes. I would give the puzzles for Wuthering Waves a 8 of 10. Overall, I'm sitting at a pretty confident 8.2 out of 10 overall for the entire game. This will be updated the more I play. I'm hoping the story does get better because that's holding it back the most right now, as well as the voice acting.
100%. And, you know, that's the thing. You know, the story has to be really good, but also the characters have to be not just likable, but they have to be lovable. Because a gacha game can come out with sexy characters. It's not hard to make a sexy anime character. It's really not. It's not hard to make a character likable. You know, to where you're just like, oh yeah, you know, like this character's fine. You know, they're not annoying, they're not, you know, too much, but they're fine. But it's hard to make characters lovable. And I feel like that's what Genshin mastered, was making characters that are lovable. Maybe not by everyone, but by the majority of the casual players. Their characters are just lovable. And so far, you know, even in TOF, you know, I have characters that I really like, but maybe one or two of them are lovable. And then in this game, so far, I have 0. I like a lot of characters, but do I just absolutely love them? I don't know. You know, I'm going to progress in the story a lot more, but yeah.
I'm willing to overlook the beginning aspects of the story because generally all gacha story starts off very weak, barring Nikkei and Honkai Star Rail. But it's just a very good game to play, and not to mention anything you don't want to read for side quests, you can just skip, so you don't get bogged down by side quests. And look at this. I've already completed every side quest in the game so far. That's how easy they were to do. Blow through them. If I don't enjoy it, slam the skip button. It's an amazing change, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
Skip button is the greatest thing ever.
And yeah, so far, I will say Wuthering Waves currently is my second favorite mobile game. If the story picks up, it might be able to compete with Honkai Star Rail, but I do love Honkai Star Rail. I think this game is very much worth your time. I'm having an absolute fucking blast, but obviously you guys know
this game, to me, is already better than Honkai because it's not turn-based.
That Honkai Star Rail is very near and dear to my heart. So right now,
I don't care. Turn-based is for babies.
My top 5 gachas would be number 1, Honkai Star Rail, number 2, Wuthering Waves, number 3, Cookie Run Kingdom, number 4, Nikkei, number 5, Genshin Impact. That's how it is right now. We'll see how it goes with updates in the future. I know 4.7 is coming out of the round, coming out of the bend for Genshin Impact. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, the game is very, very, very good. It's very, very, very worth your time, and I recommend everybody, and I mean everybody, try this game. It is fucking amazing. Don't bit left behind. Play this shit right fucking now, and come watch my stream. And also, as a side note, the support on YouTube and the support on Twitch has been.
Yeah, no, 100%. I recommend everyone to play this game. It's a ton of fun. It's something to add to your gacha arsenal. Play it free to play. And if you don't, then sure, I don't care. But it's a great game. I love it so far. I'm having an absolute blast. I've been grinding hours upon hours. So, definitely, if you want to see a free-to-play pro conquer Wuthering Waves, then definitely tune into my stream every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday without fail. Now that Wuthering Waves is out, I have been streaming every day since launch, and I am absolutely loving every second of it. So, please check out my Twitch, and if you don't, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment on all my videos. That would be very much appreciated. So, whatever time it is for you, have a good morning, good afternoon, and good night, and I'll catch y'all later. Bye-bye!